The add payment statement. To understand this next type of statement, you have to be familiar with the concept of having more than one payer on an account. The most common multiple payer scenario is when a client has insurance. In that case, the insurance company is the first payer, meaning that they are billed first. Once insurance pays their portion of the claim, the remainder can be billed to the second payer, which in this case is the client. There are other scenarios that can create a multiple payer situation, but for the demonstration, we'll use the one insurance, one client scenario, which happens to fit the client named Bunch of Carrots. Before we begin, let's look at the client's Sessions and Payments tab, so we can see all of her account activity at a glance. On this page, we can see that Buncha has had 4 sessions, and that claims from each of the sessions have been e-filed to Cigna. No payments have been entered from Cigna or Buncha. The account balance and the client balance, as well as all of the session balances, are listed as NA, meaning not available or not applicable. This is because until the insurance payments are posted, we don't know the allowed amount for the session, so PSYBooks can't calculate the amount due. In order to demonstrate the add payment statement, we have to enter one or more payments from Cigna. Once we do that, PSYBooks will be able to calculate the amount due from the client and will offer to create a client statement. To add a payment from Cigna, we'll click the Add Payments and Allocations button. For the type of payment, we want insurance. In the next window, we select Cigna from the Select Insurance Company payer box. Next, we enter an amount, and we'll say they paid us $50. Now we click the Save and Allocate button. When we do that, the form expands into a much longer form with 3 sections. The top portion is a copy of the part we just completed. The middle portion, called Allocation Information, will give us information on the payment as we allocate it. And the bottom portion, Sessions with Outstanding Balances for Cigna, shows us all sessions from any client that have been e-filed to Cigna and have yet to have payments posted to them. Notice that all of Bunch's sessions are listed here, just like we saw in her Sessions and Payments tab. To enter insurance payments correctly, you have to be looking at either the EOB or the ERA. However, since we're just making things up for this demonstration, we're going to pretend that we have an EOB in front of us and that Cigna allowed $100 for each of the 90834 sessions and paid $25 each on the first 2 session dates. We'll start with the 416 session. We enter $100 in the amount allowed field, $25 in the amount paid field, and then since each line has to be saved separately, we click the Save or Post button. This next window begins by giving us a success message. It tells us that the payment we just entered has been saved. Next, we see a Process To box like we're used to seeing on the Add Session form. Since Buncha has 2 payers on her account, Cigna and herself, PSYBooks assumes that since we just entered a payment from Cigna, the rest is supposed to be billed to Buncha. In this case, PSYBooks has guessed correctly, so although we could change the payer in the Process To box, we'll leave it on Buncha's name. The next section of the window asks whether we want to process the statement now, later, or not at all. We want to process it now, so we'll leave the radio button where it is. We also want to be able to view the PDF after we process it, so we'll keep the Yes here. And click Submit. And as we've seen before, the next window gives us a link to the statement. When we open it, we can see that, as with the Add Session statement, this statement is for a single session. Here's the session information, followed by the insurance adjustment, in other words, the amount the therapist billed minus the amount allowed by the insurance company, and finally the insurance payment. We still have an amount remaining on our payment, and our pretend EOB told us that $25 should be allowed for the next session, so let's run through the process again. 100 in the allowed amount column, 25 in paid amount, and post, and submit. And here's our statement. Notice that this new statement has a beginning balance of $75, which was the total amount due on the previous statement. As we saw with the Add Session statement, the statement produced with the Add Payment tool gives us an accurate accounting of the total amount the client owes on their account, not just the amount due on this one session. That's it for this statement type. The next statement we examine, the Sessions and Payment statement, will allow us much more flexibility than we've previously seen. Let's look at that one now.